Welcome back to the Doctor Interested podcast, where we talk about health, medicine, and things that actually affect our everyday lives. I'm your host, Tanvi Sai Akella, and today we're getting into something most of us don't really think about: how what we eat might affect how our brain works, especially when it comes to ADHD. Food isn't just about being full, it actually plays a critical role in how your brain functions. So let's get right into it. Think about the last time you had a bunch of sugary snacks and fast food. You probably felt super energetic for a bit and then kind of dead afterward. Now imagine your brain dealing with that all the time, every day, while it's still developing. That's basically what we're going to talk about today. When we talk about neurodevelopmental health, we're basically just talking about how your brain grows and develops over time, especially when you're younger. ADHD is a condition that affects focus, attention, and impulse control. ADHD is not caused by food, but what you eat can affect how your brain functions and how intense some symptoms might feel. Today, I'm breaking this down into 3 things: how modern diets have changed, how certain foods can affect focus and energy, and what kinds of food patterns actually support your brain. Let's get right into it. So, let's be real. Modern diets are low-key built on convenience. Fast foods, instant noodles, chips, energy drinks, packaged snacks, they're easy and everywhere. But the real issue here is that a lot of these foods don't give your brain what it actually needs. Your brain runs on nutrients like healthy fats, protein, iron, and certain vitamins. Research has shown that diets high in processed foods and low in nutritional value are linked to poorer attention, memory, and behavior in children and teens. In fact, a systematic review found that unhealthy diets high in sugar and processed foods were associated with a higher risk of ADHD, while healthier diets with more fruits and vegetables were linked to a lower risk. Think about that for a second. When your diet is mostly processed food, your brain isn't getting the best of fuel. That doesn't cause ADHD, but it can make focusing, remembering things, and managing your mood harder, especially if you already struggle with attention. You might ask, why does this matter? This matters because your brain is still developing as a teen. The habits you build now can affect your brain functions long term. The takeaway is, you don't have to eat perfect, but try not to survive only on packaged food. Even 1 meal a day helps. So, if modern diets aren't always giving your brain what it needs, a big part of that comes from the types of foods we're eating more often, especially sugar and additives. A lot of people think sugar causes ADHD, but that's actually a myth. Scientific research has not found that sugar directly causes ADHD. But eating a lot of it, now that it can mess with your energy levels. You can get that quick boost and then crash. And when you crash, focusing becomes way harder. There's also a research that suggests certain artificial food colorings and preservatives may increase hyperactivity in some children. For example, a meta-analysis of multiple studies found that synthetic food dyes had a small but noticeable effect on hyperactivity in some children, especially those who are more sensitive. Now, not every person reacts the same way, but some people do notice that they feel more restless after eating certain foods. This matters because if you already struggle with attention, adding constant energy spikes and crashes just makes school and daily life more exhausting. You don't need to ban sugar from your life. Just notice how different foods make you feel and what helps you stay focused longer. So, if some foods can make focusing harder, what foods actually help your brain stay steady and work better? Now, this is something that we can do. Brain-friendly food isn't about eating strict. It's not about being strict about your food. It's more about patterns over time. Foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and protein can help your brain get a steady energy instead of a constant high and low. Research on dietary patterns, like the Mediterranean diet, shows that the healthier eating patterns are linked to fewer ADHD symptoms. For example, one study found that children who followed a Mediterranean-style diet were less likely to have ADHD compared to those with less healthy diets. Healthy fats and proteins help you feel full longer and support focus. When your energy is more stable, it's easier to concentrate in class and not to feel super drained halfway through the day. This matters because small habits add up. You do not need a perfect diet, just better patterns most of the time. Make sure that you aim for balance, not perfection, and add one better choice a day and build from there. Here, to basically summarize, food doesn't cause ADHD, but it does affect how your brain functions and how manageable your symptoms feel. Modern diets are super convenient, but they are not always great. For brain fuel, paying a bit attention to what you eat can actually help with focus, energy, and mood over time. Think about that and make sure you make good decisions going on forward. Now, that's it for today's Doctor and Tested podcast. If this made you think differently about what you eat and how it affects your brain, that's already a win. This week, try one small change, like adding one balanced meal a day or paying attention to how different foods affect your focus and energy. Small changes can actually make a real difference over time. Follow the podcast for more health stuff, and I'll catch you next time.